All right, hey everyone. So here's a common question that I get. What does chi feel like? So I get asked this question and it can be taken in two different ways, honestly. So the first way it can be taken is what does chi feel like, as in what does it feel like when a doctor or when a Qigong master emits chi or their bioenergy into you. And the second way this question can be taken is what does chi feel like in the sense of when you are cultivating this energy? A lot of people try to determine how well they are doing or the progression of their Qigong practice based on internal sensations via they try to compare it to the sensation that they believe chi is supposed to feel like. So when people typically ask this question, though, they are assuming in both scenarios the chi will feel the same, which isn't the case. All right. So let's take the first scenario. All right. When a Qigong master, Qigong doctor, or even a Qigong practitioner such as myself or other fellow brother students, when we all emit bioenergy, we don't feel it until the moment of impact. All right. And what I like to compare this to is like a lightning strike. So when lightning strikes, the energy is manifest, right? You see the light, you see all of the associated manifestations that lightning is known for. You know, the sound, the light, the even, the feel of it, right? But the thing is, that energy was existing prior to that lightning strike as well. So in our body, the chi it's existing in a potential form. At the moment it becomes a lightning bolt, it is now, in my view, it has now become kinetic, or in my understanding, however you want to take it, right? So this potential energy was always there from the get-go, but at the moment that cloud to ground connection was established is when that lightning bolt became manifest. In the same sense, when we emit bioenergy, bioelectricity, whatever term you want to use, chi, prana, whenever we emit this inherent potential energy inside of our body that we cultivated up to a certain extent, whenever we emit it into a recipient, us, the cloud, once we establish that cloud to ground connection, the ground being the recipient, that is when we both feel the kinetic manifestation of the emitter's chi. So I don't feel my chi until the moment the recipient feels my chi. So we both feel it in that same moment. And in that same moment, you also see manifestations associated with that emission. You see the involuntary muscle contractions. You see, as an observer, as an external observer, you can see that, right? As the internal observer, you being the recipient, or you being the issuer, you feel more of what is taking place during that kinetic manifestation of the chi. So it feels like an intense electrical current. How do I put that into other words? I have no clue how. If you've been struck by lightning, maybe it's a similar feeling to that. If you've ever been struck with a taser, maybe it's a similar feeling to that. I've never experienced either. I've only experienced the emission, the chi emission component. If you've touched an electric fence, maybe it's the same as that. All of these deal with electrical currents. All right. So, and the body has a similar reaction to all of these different scenarios as well. So I can only assume that it will feel highly similar, but I won't say it feels the exact same because I've never directly experienced those other phenomena. I've only experienced chi emission directly. Okay, so let's go on to scenario 2. right? How does it feel in the cultivator's body before the ground connection is made, right? How does the cloud feel before the cloud to ground connection is made? So me being the cloud, me being the person who has this potential to that can turn kinetic, right? That can turn into a current at will once that ground connection is made. I feel nothing. I feel more vitality. Uh, I feel a little more energy, but in a sense, it's similar to what you feel to an extent. It's not like some people think you're just gonna have this, bolt of electricity just existing inside of the body at any given time, or at all times, and you can just point and the bolt comes out. It doesn't exist in kinetic form inside of us. We it So I don't know if that's the right term to use. It exists in a kinetic form, but not the type that is associated with the chi emission that most people see on my channel. So chi can take on different forms, but this type of kinetic energy, as far as that electrical phenomena, is what I mean by kinetic versus the potential, where chi is it manifests as heat. So you'll have a warmer body temperature, for instance, like prior to me being treated by the doctors, right? I had cold hands. My body temperature was a little bit cooler. I was a vegan, vegetarian. I had in Chinese medicine terms, I was eating a cold diet, and this led to a cold body. Essentially, I wasn't eating meat and stuff, right? I was yang qi deficient. So as I started building my yang qi, as I started increasing the amount of yang inside of my body, the amount of yang energy, the things that are associated with yang started to become more manifest. I started having more heat in my body. My complexion started looking better. My kidneys became healthier. So now I'm at a stage where I have a mild yang qi deficiency. At first, it was like I don't want to say severe, because severe sounds bad, but it was a more severe case compared to now, whereas I have a mild yang qi deficiency. So I'm still in a recovery process, but I am much better off now than I was previously. But this, I would consider the energy, the form it exists in now, I would consider this a potential form of energy, right? In the same sense, energy is existing in the space right now, right? It's all out there in the ether, right? It's when you see a cloud, the potential is still there. That yang is still there. The yin is still there. All of the energy is still there, but it's not in that kinetic, mighty, manifest form where like lightning could just be associated with pure destruction, right? Anything it touches is just poof. Right, even the sound it sends trembles through the most mightiest animals, right? The most mightiest beings, they tremble at the foot of lightning. So that's a kinetic form of an energy that's always there, manifest in different forms. But once it becomes manifest in this form, that's when it's the most respected, right? But this same energy exists in us in the same sense. So that is my explanation of what does chi feel like, because I really get asked that question a lot, and it's not a simple answer unless you actually feel somebody emit chi into you, and you can't feel that unless you actually go on a medical seminar, right? Or you find some willing Qigong master, on the side of the road or something, or you just so happen upon an acupuncture clinic, and this guy so happens to be some secret Qigong master that nobody knew about, right? How likely is that scenario? Not likely at all. But essentially, this is how it feels. It just, honestly, it just feels like nothing. I would say honestly, it just feels like you're healthier than what you normally would be, uh, when it's in its potential form. When it's in its kinetic form, that's when you get all the manifest things going on, muscle contractions, right? When you see me Fa Chi, and you see my muscles contract, you see the recipient's muscles contract, or when you see me receiving Fa Chi, or you see these other guys receiving Fa. In every scenario, everybody has these same manifestations occur in their body, unless it kind of differs though when you have a healthy person versus an unhealthy person. When I say unhealthy, I just mean circulatory system issues. This could be ranging from just minor blood stasis all the way up to stage 4 cancers or whatnot. So and I mean like any type of disease in general will have some type of it would begin to generate circulatory issues, circulatory system issues in general, any disease. So that is where our treatments come in at as well, because my doctor treats, my teacher, my master, my shifu, whatever you want to call him, he treats it at essentially the root cause, you can say. He treats the blood first, and then everything else can follow. But yeah, so that is in both scenarios, right? What does chi feel like? It goes two ways. It feels like nothing, and then it feels like something, right? But it feels like nothing, as a practitioner. When you're just walking around, you just, you just a little bit warm, or you feel a little bit more vibrant, or as a emitter, right, or a recipient, you feel nothing until that cloud to ground connection is made. I hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I'm a wealth of information. I don't hold anything back, as you can see from the couple of years of videos I've been releasing, or since 2023 I've been releasing videos. I don't hold anything back. I try to answer everything as best as possible. Have any questions, you can, depending on what social media sites you're looking at, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all of them. I have the same title, Qigong Disciple. So whatever one you're on, you comment your question, inbox me your question, or you can even email me your question, qigongdisciple@gmail.com. Or if you have any type of inquiries related toward anything or regarding anything, just contact that email, contact me by inbox. See you guys in the next one.